Good morning everyone, welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be showing us how to draw bar charts including the totals and the target lines. So I have some data from the facility here that gives me the total number of persons tested, the number of positives and the yield at the end of the month or the quarter. So one thing before we continue that you will notice is the fact that these values, when you sum them up, it gives you 825 rather than 300 that I have put here as a total. I will show you why I wrote this 300 at the end of the video. So let's follow and see how to do that. So the first thing is I have my data prepared and my target yield is at 6%. The real value for the totals is here below, so it's just a sum of all of this. The first thing we do is to insert our chart. Insert chart, so we have something looking like this, and we have to clean it up to make it look good. So let me just increase it so that the space is more visible, or the graph is more visible when we're working. Okay, I have this. The first thing I want to do is to change chart type. So I could do that by two ways, either by clicking up here on the chart design ribbon, or I right click on the graph and I see I have changed chart type. So either ways, you see come up to this window, I go to combo, and then the only chart type I want to change there is the series, the yield. I want it to be in an XY scatter, and the rest of them should be in a clustered column. So I have something like this. I don't need these values above, I take them away. The grid lines, I don't need them. The next thing I want to do is to increase the size of my bar charts. So I double click on the bars, and then the format data series window pops up on my right, and I just have to reduce the gap width to let's say, let me reduce it to 25 and see what it gives me. Yeah, they are somehow big. I reduce it to 15. Yes, and then I also want to reduce the overlap series to maybe -5. Okay, so that I have some space in between the blue and the orange graphs or bar charts. Okay, so here we go, we have our charts. The next thing we need to do now is to include data labels inside N. Yes, I want it to add the N. And one thing you need to know now is that the percentages or the yield, as I called it at the beginning, is found in a scattered way all along my graph, but it is also found on the secondary axis. So I want my yield to be kind of on a line that can be easily read by my audience. So what I do is to change the y-axis value on my right, and to do that I already have my chart formatting panel open. So I just select on the axis, go to axis options, and now the bounds. You have, it starts from 0 to 0.18. Rather, I will change this to start from negative 0.3. Let's say negative 0.4 till 1.8, or let's say 1.9, and you have your data points above like that. I always love these values to be above my data points. Okay, now they are above my markers here. I want to format these values. I will increase them, make them bold, and then maybe put a white background around it for easy visibility. So solid fill, white background, and then I increase the transparency so that my graph is still visible behind it. I have to do the same thing for the values for my positives. Increase it, make it bold, put a white background behind it, and increase the transparency to say 50% or so, and you get that cool effect there. Okay, so for my axis, for my what am I saying, for my yield, I'll keep my yield at a red color, or should I say an ox blood color, and make it, what have I clicked, sorry about that, make it bold, and then increase the size also. I also want my marker to be red in color so that it attracts the attention of my audience. I get that. The border, I do not want any border. So that is what I have. And the next thing I will need to do now is to include my target line, the target with which each unit was supposed, or each modality was supposed to at least be above or around. So to do that, I simply select my chart, go to chart design, select data, add, and then, well, let me just add the name here, yield, and I select the Y series. I'm not putting it on the X axis because I want it to be horizontal, so I select the Y axis. I take the 6, I take OK, OK, and OK. I have my value here. So what next? How do I make this a horizontal line now? I right click on it, I right click on the value. I can close this for the moment. Right click on the value, and I add arrow bars. Okay, I've added my arrow bars. I double click on my chart again to call out the chart section, highlight my data point again, and take series options. Click on this arrow down here, and then you're going to find yourself here, and you choose add X arrow bars. So series target yield X arrow bars. Click on that, and then Windows opens up again for you to edit your arrow bars. And I'll say I want my arrow bars to be let's say on both sides I want them to have a fixed value, and that value now should be something, with respect to the value that you're going to put there, it determines the length of your line. So let's say 7, we are not good to go. Let's say 10 is too much. We say 8. What did I say? Sorry, 8. 8 does not cover the entire graph, so I think 8.7 will still not go. 8.5 is just perfect for the game. Okay, so we have our line there, and the next thing we need to do is to format the line. So I always love my target lines to be purple in color, and we want to increase the width of the line to say 2. The next thing we need to do is to take away this marker. I'm not sure it's going to be useful to us anytime soon, so we just take no fill, no line for the marker. And now for the target value, you may want to keep it there so that your audience can at all time see exactly what you were working on as a target at the end of your quarter or your month or whatever period you are using for your reporting. So I'll just shift it right to the right here so that it doesn't disturb the other data points that are found there. I highlight this, delete. Okay, now I want to take away these lines, these Y values here. So I select the lines or the values, go now to labels, and take label position none, and that disappears. So I have a beautiful chart here that gives me my target. I'll have to do some minor adjustments on it. Oh, let me select the cap, select the line, and take no cap so that I can take away the cap that you saw earlier. Beautiful. Okay, so I have something like this showing my target line. It shows now that any value or any yield that is above this 6% is performing very well, while those that are below are not well performing. So I have the value here that I need to take off also. Label position no. Okay, so I have that beautifully placed there, and you see if my boss or whoever comes and changes the target yield now to 2%, I just need to come to my curve or to my graph and take the 2%, and the target line should go down or above. If I increase it to say 10%, the target line goes above, but for now our target yield is 6, so let's just keep it at 6. So looking at this, you can easily see that the index modality is at 16%, the Eugen's modality is at 7.1%. You also have the others modality, which was almost at the target line but did not hit the 6 mark. That's why it is just below the line. You also have the inpatient that tried, but it ended at 4.8, so the marker is way below the target line. So this is my graph. The next thing I need to do is maybe to make the the angles of my graph rectangle, or to beautify the angles of my graph. So I take okay, after selecting my graph, I come here on the axis options, take the fill, go right down, I will see round. So I want my curve or my chart to have round borders, and now those round borders, now I can format them. I always love to give them the gray color, and the width should be 2, so that gives me a beautiful image like this. You will notice here that there is this 300 value here that is clashing with this 4.2, so I just need to shift one of them down, and I will shift the 4.2 down. It doesn't really matter which one goes down. All that matters is that I should have the figures that I need to use in my chart. Okay, you remember at the beginning of this exercise, I earlier told you that this 300 here was not the real value for the total in my graph. So the reason why I simply put this 300 there was to make sure that the other bars are of a reasonable size. Had it been I kept this 850 here. Let's put it here and see what it gives us. I place the value 850. You see the graph is still presentable, but the difference between the bars is too much. So I decided to use this 300 so that it gives me bars that are almost of a very visible length for my audience. And now that I have done that, I will not want to keep this 300 here. I will simply select the 300, go to my function bar and click equal to, and select the real total that I want, which is this, and I click enter. And so now my total value is displaying as 825 rather than 300 that I use in plotting my graph. So this is it. The last thing we may want to do is to add a title. No. Okay, for my title, I also do not want to get a title that I may forget anytime soon. So what I usually want to do is to come and select chart title. Instead of typing it manually, I go straight to the function bar and I click equal to and select the cell where I already had my title defined. So my title is case finding by modality. I click on it, enter, and it gives me my beautiful title. So each time I want to modify my title, instead of modifying it from here, I just go back to where I have my data defined, and then I can add whatever I am adding there. Okay, so we can format that, make it pure black, bold, and then we increase it in size. Okay, so this is my beautiful graph here, I can copy this graph now and paste it wherever I need to, be it in my reports, be it in my PowerPoint presentations, and whatever presentation I need to do. So this is what I had to share with us today.